There's a version of me I miss. She's quiet, slow, alone. But these days I really meet her. Because I'm never really alone. I'm a mother, a wife, a daughter. And wherever I go, they come with me.
Do you want to tell these fine people where we're at?
Somewhere in Porto.
We're in Porto. And we're going to try a traditional Porto, kind of like a hamburger stack sandwich press thing with a special sauce. So we'll see how we go.
For a long time I thought I was an introvert. And in some ways, I guess I am. But the thing is, it felt like solitude was where I came alive. It was my sanctuary, my haven. George, what do you think?
So we're going to try it and see if it's nice.
And to be honest, it wasn't that I was afraid of being with others. I was afraid of losing myself to their needs. My fear of being needed too much, too often.
And the sauce, it's gravy.
It's just gravy.
It reminds me of my uni days when I had the hot chips with gravy poured all over it. That was a classic.
And when I couldn't find solitude, I'd grow restless, irritated, because I thought I was losing myself. But I'm beginning to learn something. Maybe the version of me I miss isn't gone. Maybe she's just changing. Maybe she's learning to live inside the noise.
We just got to Bon Jesus. We're at the church and we're going to walk the stairs.
So, this is not bad. It's nice. I like it.
Are we ready to walk up the stairs? And when our time starts now.
I could have pulled away, worn headphones, let my body be there but not my presence. But I didn't. I started choosing to show up, to be in the noise, the interruptions, the slowness. Not because it was easy, but because I wanted to know if I could find something beautiful in the mess, the chaos. We've done a lot of washing in our Airbnb. The machine says that it washes and dries, but it didn't quite dry our clothes, so we've had to resort to other measures. There's a strange kind of intimacy in caring for others, a rhythm that feels like solitude if I'm paying attention. Because maybe this isn't disruption, but devotion. And maybe it was never chaos, just connection, arriving louder than I expected.
We have a car spot, but way out of Porto. We need to catch a tram back so we can catch the boat. We just have to remember where we park because it's so chaotic and busy here.
Porto surprised me. I could be surrounded by the people I love and many other strangers and still feel lonely. And sometimes just watching them quietly, I feel more full than I had in days. I started asking myself, am I alone or am I just disconnected? Because there's a difference.
We had to let an American tourist explain to these Portuguese people here of how to use their own country. They've got to make it understandable.
It is. Number 1 or number 18?
Being with others doesn't always mean losing yourself. Sometimes it means rediscovering a softer version of you. Stillness doesn't always mean silence. Sometimes it means presence. Fully here, not hiding, not shrinking.
So we're just going to grab something light to eat and we're about to go on a cruise. Ponte Saint Juiz. Oh, Ponte São do Juiz. Oh, Dom Juiz. Oh, Dom Luís. Ponte Dom Luís.
I used to think being with others meant losing myself. Now I'm learning it can be how I find her again. The quieter version of me that still exists, even in the noise.
€7. Do you like my new hat? €7.
Love it.
And I'll be honest, sometimes I still want to run, to sneak away for a moment that is mine and mine alone.
That's the one, Dad.
Don't do that and you break your nails, honey, mate.
This is my kids. They're just so complicated. They don't listen.
No, your daddy's on the seat.
Sem teimosos.
Your daddy's on the seat.
São teimosos.
His dad's taking 2 seats, mate.
And sometimes I do. I walk before everyone wakes up, 10 minutes staring at the architecture of all the buildings around me.
This is how slow it goes, George. What do you think?
Kill me now. Can I get off?
We just started. Wow, look at the buildings. They look so good.
Porto is very nice, yes.
Beautiful.
So I started small. A shared laugh instead of a sigh. A pause before rushing ahead. A soft response where I usually brace. One I'm learning slowly, one quiet act of love at a time. I didn't have to abandon myself to be with them. I just had to stay, softly. To practice presence, not performance.
Yeah, I've made it to the top of Porto on tram number 18, but we were squashed like sardines, unfortunately. It was literally jam-packed. Like, George was hanging out the door.
And there was this stranger there next to him, and every time he talked, it was like,
It was getting filled up by this random guy touching his biceps. And then he had some other bloke behind him, and it was just not very pleasant for George.
And the whole reason why we were hanging off the tram was because someone had to go to the toilet.
So let me fill you in on why. Summer decided she was bussing to go to the toilet, and we needed to try and find a public toilet, and we found one in a shopping centre. Summer was taking longer than she needed to. And seriously, as soon as we stepped out, we could see the tram going past, and we're bolting down
I'll show you how it was
the tracks, trying to get to the tram, and then it turns out the tram was absolutely packed as.
I still crave solitude. I still ache for quiet. But I'm starting to understand. Peace isn't always found in being alone. Sometimes it's found in letting yourself belong.
Como é que chama este? Bolinhas de Berlim. Bolinhas de Berlim. Berlim. Era só isso?
Being with others isn't always easy, especially when your soul whispers for quiet. But love asks us to stretch, to grow. And I'm learning that sometimes the deepest kind of peace comes from letting go of the version of me that needs to be alone to feel whole. My solitude will always be there, waiting. But right now, so are they. And I think that matters more.
Would I travel to Porto with kids? No.
We
Would I
just,
travel to Porto with George? Yes. Would I travel to Porto with my parents? Definitely. But with my kids, George?
I wouldn't even come with your parents.